Hi, everyone. Thank you for making the time today. We have joining us Georges St-Pierre, the new middleweight champion of the world, coming off his sensational victory last Saturday at Madison Square Garden. And so without further ado, I'll turn it over for questions from the assembled media.
That will be *1 for questions. Please make sure your mute function is off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Again, *1 for questions. Our first is from Benoit Bouidon, RDS.
Thank you very much. So we'll start in French, I guess. So I'll ask a few questions in French with George, and I'll let you guys in English afterward. Thank you. Georges, Benoit Bouidon de RDS, félicitations tout d'abord. J'aimerais savoir comment va la santé. On sait que tu es allé à l'hôpital après le combat, donc est-ce que tout est OK de ce côté-là?
Oui, la santé va super bien. Je suis allé à l'hôpital parce que j'ai eu des coupures. Fallait que j'aille faire des points de suture. Puis aussi, j'ai reçu un coup en arrière de la tête. J'ai reçu un coup de coude en arrière de la tête. Je pense, j'ai regardé le combat, je pense que c'est au premier round. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? C'est juste en arrière de la tête, c'est un endroit très sensible où est-ce que je me suis fait frapper. C'est où est-ce que on appelle ça le basal area, c'est où est-ce que le spinal cord il est attaché. Puis j'ai eu une inflammation au muscle du cou. C'est pour ça que j'ai de la misère à me tourner la tête. Après le combat, quand j'ai cool down, ça a eu une inflammation. Puis ça m'a causé beaucoup de problèmes dans le combat. Quand j'étais au sol, je pouvais pas me redresser pour frapper. J'avais comme le cou jammé. C'était vraiment compliqué. Ils ont fait un scan. Ils pensaient avoir vu quelque chose au premier scan. Ils ont attendu 6 heures. Ils ont fait un deuxième. Puis ils ont décidé de me laisser partir. Tout était correct. Parce qu'il faut dire que New York aussi, ils sont très conservateurs au niveau de la santé. Ils sont plus sévères que les autres endroits. Donc, tout est correct en fait. Mon cou va mieux. Ma santé va mieux. Puis je suis correct.
Évidemment, pour revenir sur cette victoire-là, je voulais savoir qu'est-ce qui te rendait le plus fier. Ça a été vraiment un retour extrêmement spectaculaire. Est-ce que c'est la victoire en tant que telle, ou la façon dont tu as réussi à terminer le combat après toutes les critiques que tu as eues? Qu'est-ce qui te rend le plus fier?
En fait, c'est le déroulement de ma semaine au complet. J'étais très, très bien préparé et j'avais faim, j'avais du plaisir. Puis quand tu as du plaisir à faire quelque chose, tu performes toujours mieux.
Je ne sais pas si tu as lu tous les articles au Québec et on commence vraiment à te comparer et à te mettre parmi les plus grands de l'histoire du Québec et du Canada, tous sports confondus. Qu'est-ce que ça te fait d'être placé dans la même catégorie que des Maurice Richard, des Gilles Villeneuve, des Wayne Gretzky et tout ça? J'imagine que ça doit être spécial. Hein?
Ouais, ben ça me fait chaud au cœur, mais bon, on peut pas vraiment faire les comparaisons comme ça parce que chaque sport est différent. Mais c'est très gentil de votre part. Merci.
Je vous laisse. Bon, évidemment, on se demande tous qu'est-ce qui va se passer pour la suite des choses pour toi. On parle de Woodley, McGregor, Whittaker. C'est les 3 noms qui reviennent le plus souvent. Comment tu vois cette situation-là et qu'est-ce que tu penses qui va arriver pour la suite de ta carrière?
Ben là, pour la suite immédiate, j'ai besoin d'aller prendre des petites vacances. Je fais une tournée de PR, puis après ça, je vais aller quelque part d'exotique, prendre des petites vacances. Puis après ça, ça va m'aider à me clarifier l'esprit. Mais durant ce temps-là, c'est sûr que le UFC vont sûrement avoir des projets pour moi. Puis dans le contrat, c'est marqué Whittaker, mais on va voir ce qui va arriver. Là. Tout peut changer très vite dans ce sport-là, on le sait.
Est-ce que tu penses que tu peux refaire un bon bout de carrière à 185 livres? Après le combat, tu ne semblais pas commis à 185.
C'est pas mon poids naturel, là. Je paye 100. Dans le combat, le soir du combat, j'étais 191 livres, tu sais. Je suis très, très petit pour cette catégorie-là. Je suis plus un welterweight, mais il faut que je la fasse, c'est écrit dans le contrat, là. Je vais voir qu'est-ce qui va arriver. Je peux pas t'en dire plus en ce moment.
À quel moment tu penses être capable de remonter dans l'Octagon?
Je sais pas. Ça dépend de l'horaire du UFC, là. On va voir qu'est-ce qui va arriver.
Excellent. Combien de combats en terminant tu penses vouloir faire d'ici la fin? Est-ce que tu as une idée?
J'ai aucune idée. Je fais un combat à la fois, puis that's it. Je me mets pas de pression. Je fais un combat à la fois.
Merci beaucoup, George. Thank you guys for your patience. I'll let you, George.
Next question,
Thank you,
Monica, Newsday.
Congrats on winning the title.
Thank you.
After after the post-fight interviews and everything like that, you spent a lot of time in the Octagon, sort of just soaking it all in. I was wondering if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the Octagon. I have a lot of experience in this sport, and I was very well prepared for this fight Saturday. I wanted to be there. There's no other place in the world where I wanted to be. I chose this. It didn't choose me. Like I said, when I was champion, it chose me. But now I choose to be there, and I was very happy, very motivated, and I'm very happy the way it happened. And I believe in it. Even a lot of people told me in my entourage to not do it. I did it because I wanted to have a memory of an achievement. That's something that I have done. And if I would not have come back, I would have regretted for the rest of my life. So I'm very happy.
Mm-hmm. You also spoke about setting traps for Bisping, which is something I've heard Freddie Roach say a lot. Obviously, you worked with him for this entire camp. Was that part of his influence on you for this fight?
Yeah, Freddie has a very good influence. You see, I dropped Bisping with a left hook because in the first round I was doing well, but then the second round Bisping made a great adjustment. He started running a little bit and moving it more. So I was prepared for this fight. The way I trained, we were thinking that we were going to fight a Bisping that will come forward and will try to bully me. But to his credit, he came with a very good strategy that gave me a lot of trouble, especially in the second round when he adjusts himself, start moving more, and I start trying to follow him too much. So in the third round, I had to adjust myself, and I was trying to go over his jab with the overhand right, and Freddie was telling me that in the second round now he started to adjusting to this, and he countered me with the right hand. He was countering my overhand with the right hand. So Freddie told me in the corner, he said, now throw when he throw his right hand, throw the cross and follow with the left hook, and that's what I did. That's why I dropped him. Because a counter of a right hand is a left hook that comes over the right hand. So that's what I did, and it works well, you know. And then after I know that when I dropped him, I know that Bisping loved to stand up. The way he stand up, he liked to go belly down on 4 point and stand up from there. So instead of wasting my energy, try to hold him down like I did before. I decided to give him the space to go belly down, try to stand up, and when he exposed his back, I took his back and choked him. That was the trap. Nice.
Were you surprised with some of the, you took almost all your damage when you were on top of him? Bisping was on the ground. Were you surprised that I guess the struggle it almost seemed like for you to keep him down and control him like you have in the past?
I was a little bit rusty. It's 4 years I haven't fought, and in those training sessions is some part of the fight game that you can really practice. For example, like the ground and pound on the ground that come from underneath. You can't really get prepared for this. So I was a little bit rusty. It was 4 years after that fight. But there's another thing too that people are not aware. That's the reason why I went to the hospital and I spent a lot of time. During the fight, I got hit with an elbow behind the head in the basal area, in the back of the skull. It's attached to the spinal cord. And what happened is when I get hit is I got kind of a flash knockdown a little bit. And I also, my neck got very inflamed. I got a very bad inflammation in my neck, and I couldn't really move my head much, especially at the end when I cooled down after the fight. It was terrible. I couldn't even tie up my shoes. It was very bad. I didn't know what it was. It was in my skull attached to my neck. That's because of an elbow that I received. I think it happened when I rewatched that fight. I tried to watch when it happened. It happened, I believe, in the first round. It looked very insignificant when it happened, if you watch the video, but it was really there. And it's not the strength of the hit. It was more the precision of it. That's how he did. It's not his fault, we're not allowed to hit there, but it's not his fault. I think it's just in during the heat of the fight, he did it, and it's normal. And what happened is my neck was so inflamed that when I was on the floor, I had a hard time posturing up to strike because it was hurting me very bad. It was like I felt like my muscle couldn't contract. I couldn't contract my head to posture up and strike. It was a very weird feeling. I felt like it was my muscle was numb and dead, and it was very strange. And after the fight, like when it cooled down, it was terrible. It was like my neck couldn't move. It was very bad. Now it's still sore, but it got a lot better now. I got treatment on it, and now I'll be back 100% pretty soon.
All right. Thank you, George.
It's an elbow that happened, I believe, when I did my first takedown. I was in a position that I was grabbing his leg, and he was forcing his right hand down, and with his left hand he elbowed me in the back, and that elbow, that's where it hurt me. That's what I think it happened.
Okay. Thank you.
Next question from Stephen Muehlhausen with Sporting News.
Hi, George. Thank you for the time today. It's greatly appreciated, and congratulations. And how would you rate your performance on Saturday in terms of a grade? I call it A, B, C, D, F.
It was a B. It was okay. I did some mistake that I didn't like. At one point, I put him down, and I wasn't in half guard. I think I should have tried to pass his guard, but I wanted to stabilize my position, to ground and pound a little bit, but I couldn't do it, and I had a little injury in the back of my neck, that was bothering me like crazy, but it was very hard. Michael Bisping, he did a great job. I don't want to take away the credit from him. I was expecting a guy that will come straightforward, try to knock me out, and try to bully me and sprawl and brawl. But instead of that, he used a lot of footwork and fakes, and he really caught me off guard, and he did a great strategy. He made me fight. The fight happened. The fight was very different than I thought it was going to be, from his part. So, congratulations to his coach, and obviously he's got an amazing team with him. He was very well prepared. He did his homework.
And and follow up to that, you were talking about your neck, and you said it's still a little bit sore. Are you going to get your neck checked out, or are you just going to let time?
I did.
See what happens.
I did get it checked out. What happened is I have a muscle in the back of my head that attached in the skull that were extremely and that were inflamed, and I got hit with the elbow, and it's called the basal area. The basal is a bone. There's a bone there that is about the thickness of a sheet of paper, and it's attached to the spinal cord, and it's very dangerous. It's not the force of the blow. I think it's the precision of the blow. It's a bad luck in a way that it happened like that, because when you look at the elbow itself, it looked pretty insignificant, and but it was just well put, like very precise, and unfortunately I got a victim of it. But it was hurting me very bad. Like after the fight, the inflammation was crazy, and even like sleeping, just getting in the car was hard. Like just getting into a car, like you have to bend your head over. It was very hard for me. I was in a lot of pain, and I got it checked out. Everything was good. In New York, they're very conservative, so they take a lot more precautions with the health, and they send me back to the hotel at home when they knew 100% I was okay. So it was good.
And one final question, because I've seen this morning, and I've seen a couple different middleweights talking about, they want to know what you're going to do, and you were not too sure when you did your interview with Joe Rogan. You had Luke Rockhold come out saying that, if you're not going to fight at 185, you should just drop the title and let the division move on. Do you want to stay at middleweight, in regard to Luke's comments, or are you still testing the waters to see what you want to do?
I don't have any intention of making the guy lose their time, And I'm waiting for. I'm gonna go on vacation next week. We're gonna go on vacation and talk about it with the UFC, see what's the next move. And right now, in my contract is written that I have to fight Robert Whittaker. But I have a lot of things can happen in MMA. That you see things change all the time.
Thank you, George.
Again,
Thank you.
that is star 1 for questions. We'll go next to Nick Baldwin, SB Nation.
Hi, George. Thank you very much for the time. We appreciate it, and congratulations on the win. Just to follow up on Steven's question, where did you feel better? Did you feel better at middleweight with 15 extra pounds of muscle, or did you feel better in the past at 170?
It's not that I feel better. I was in a better mental state of mind. I like I said, I was not chosen to do this. I choose to do this. I wanted to be there. And when I left the sport a few years ago, more than 4 years ago, I was in a bad place mentally. You know, I was not having fun. Now I was having fun Saturday. I mean, having fun to a certain extent because you get hit in the head. You know, fighting it's fun when you hit the guy, but not when you get hit. And I took a good hit as well. But what I mean by that is I wanted to be there. You know, I did this because I wanted to, not because I had to. You understand? So that's why that was a difference.
You seemed to tire a little bit in the second and third round before finishing Bisping. Was that due to the extra muscle you put on, you know, ahead of this fight, or do you think that was mostly related to ring rust?
Now, the thing that people say I was tired, I was not really, like, I mean, I was tired. I was not, like, fresh. You're tired during a fight, but I was not, like, tired in a way that people think. The problem is the way it happened, I'm going to explain to you. The first round, I was fighting Michael Bisping. I was fighting a Michael Bisping that was a little bit more holding his ground, so to speak, you know. He was getting more into the exchange and stuff, and you know, I was scoring very well. He was doing very well. When I came back to the second round, I think that his coach gave him some advice to move more, to use his footwork more, and to counterpunch me instead of going first on me. And that adjustment that he made my second round very hard, because he made a very good adjustment, and that's why I was having a hard time. And I was thinking that if I would try to follow him too much, I would have to commit myself and expose myself to get punched, and get punched by a bigger man. It could be lethal. You know, you don't want to expose yourself too much. So when I came back in after the second round that I lost, I believe I lost the second round, I made some adjustment. And when I made some adjustments, sometimes it's important I listen to my coach from an outside perspective point of view. They told me, they say, look, now he made that adjustment, he moved more. So they say, don't run after him, don't run after him. And Freddie told me, don't try to counter his jab that much with your overhand because you're loading up too much. So he said, instead of that, go with your straight and counter because he was countering my overhand with his right hand. So he said, what you're gonna do is counter his right hand with your hook. So after you throw your right hand, throw your hook right in the middle over his right hand, and that's what I did. You know, in the exchange when I dropped him, I made the exchange. I made a lot of adjustment going to my third round, and it's not that I was tired. I made some adjustment, and I came back better, and that's how I dropped him with the left hook. That's what Freddie told me to do, and it works good. And then after when he was on the ground, I know that this thing like to stand back up by using a technique to go belly down. You know, use 4 points to go belly down. So I stroke him, I put him down, I strike him, but I couldn't take him out because he was like protecting himself very well. So I knew he wanted to stand up, so I literally, it's called a slide by. I slide by his leg, and he tried to go belly down to stand up. So I let him go belly down, and I took his back. That was a trap that I set up.
And I know you said you are planning on going on vacation next week, but do you have any sort of idea when you'd like to fight again? Is that even on your mind?
No, I'm going on vacation to forget about fighting, to not think about it. But like I said, it's not my job to think about that. It's the UFC and my agent. They're going to talk about it and see what's the next move and see it.
And one last question for you, George, and thank you again for the time. How much longer do you expect to fight?
Well, for sure that I don't want to do is I know the title has been held for a long time, and that's not my intention. It's going to be news about it in the next few weeks, but I'm not going to I don't plan to hold the title and not defend it or whatever. Like I'm not gonna do that. I know there's other guys in line, Luke Rockhold, Whittaker, and all these guys. They have a family to feed, and I don't. It's not my intention to put everybody on freezing. And that's not what I want to do.
And one last question for you, George. How much longer do you expect to continue fighting? Of course, you came back after a 4-year layoff. You looked really good. How many more fights do you think you'll have? How long do you continue in the second part of your career?
I'd always take one fight at a time, and I wanted to do something to make history, to do something that never been done in the sport before, and that's my goal. To raise the bar and to do something new. That's what motivates me. That's what that I strive upon.
Awesome. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Next question is from Stephen Morocco with MMAJunkie.com.
Hey, George. Quick question. Would you be willing to fight Robert Whittaker in Perth, Australia, or would you want your first title defense to be in Las Vegas or somewhere else?
You guys are quick. You come with the same question with different angles. But it's okay. Like I said, I don't know. I'm going on vacation now, and Dana White is gonna talk with my agent. They're gonna figure out, and we'll see after I come back from vacation what I want to do, where my head is, and see what's gonna happen. And like I said, I have no intention of holding on the belt and freezing the whole division. That's not what I want to do. So you guys are gonna be up to date soon.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, yeah, you're right. We are asking pretty much the same question. I'm just wondering. There's a lot of speculation.
Because Robert Whittaker is in my contract. If I want to come back, if I want to fight again, it has to be against Robert Whittaker at 185. That's in my contract. I cannot go fight, for example, Tyron Woodley or go fight another guy. In my contract, if the UFC doesn't want me to fight anywhere, I have to fight Robert Whittaker. That's my contract. That's the term of my contract.
Why just one fight at middleweight? Why just one? Is that what you stipulated, or was that what they stipulated?
No, because the UFC did not want me to go middleweight and drop the belt, go to another weight class, and because they want to protect. It's a business. They want to protect their belt. It's normal from their point of view. That's why they wrote that clause in my contract.
Do you eventually want to return? I mean, are you saying right now that you fight Robert Whittaker and then go back to welterweight?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'll find out soon, but I don't know yet.
Is there any chance you might go on vacation? Any possibility you might just say, I don't want to fight anymore. I've done what I wanted to do. I came back. I won the middleweight title. I'm gonna hang it up.
I don't know. It's a good. It's same again. It's the same question that come back from a different angle. Is now that's how I cannot talk about this. I don't know right now, and I understand it's normal. But I don't even know myself.
Gotcha.
We'll see what's gonna be the next move.
Awesome. Thank you.
Comes from Nicholas Landry, RDS.
Salut Georges. La veille de ton combat, on avait parlé à Jeff Gaudreau après la pesée. Il avait dit que le but était de te remonter à 200 livres. Puis je sais qu'après le combat, quand t'es passé avec Pat Côté puis Jean-Paul Chartrand, t'as dit que ça avait, ta reprise de poids avait crashé, tu n'avais pas pu monter en haut de 191. Peux-tu nous expliquer un peu le processus de ces 24 heures-là qui s'est passé au juste?
Ouais, ben c'est ça. J'ai pas pu remonter à 200 livres. Là. Mon corps a peut-être crashé. Je ne sais pas ce qui s'est passé. Là. On peut qu'on check ça, mais j'étais 191. Je me sentais bien par contre, mais c'est juste que c'est différent de ce que je fais d'habitude avec JF. Mais je me sentais très bien. C'est peut-être que mon corps a crashé. C'est peut-être une raison physionomique ou c'est que durant le camp d'entraînement pour monter mon poids, je me forçais pour manger même quand j'avais pas faim. Même j'avais des reflux, des reflux qui remontaient des fois quand j'allais vomir durant le déjeuner. Je trouvais ça très, très dur de manger comme ça, tu sais. Mais il fallait que je le fasse pour gagner la masse musculaire. Ça a été des mois très difficiles pour moi. Là, je suis en vacances, je relaxe. En ce moment, je suis en train de faire un jeûne, justement, juste pour nettoyer mon système pour justement parce que là, je l'ai fait surtravailler durant les derniers mois. Donc là, j'essaie de relaxer mon système, mes organes, tout ça, faire un jeûne pour faire un détox de mon système.
Et à quel moment dans le processus, à peu près, tu t'es rendu compte que ça ne fonctionnerait pas, là, que tu ne serais pas capable de monter plus haut qu'un certain point?
Le matin du combat, quand j'ai pris mon déjeuner, j'étais allé vomir. Puis j'étais à 191. Quand je me suis levé, j'étais à 191. Après ça, après avoir vomi mon déjeuner, une partie de mon déjeuner, j'étais à 192. Fait que là, j'ai dit, ouais, je pense pas que je vais être 200 livres pour le combat. Ça marchera pas. Parce que des fois, je me demande si c'est vraiment de la masse musculaire ou si c'est le fait que c'est de la nourriture qui est prise à l'intérieur de toi. Tu sais, c'est ça qui est dur des fois si on ne sait pas. Tu sais, c'est dur à dire. Tu sais, c'est la première fois que je faisais ça. Tu sais, je peux pas te dire. Ça fait 6 mois que je marchais à peu près à 199 livres avant d'aller dormir. Le matin, je me levais, j'étais à 198. Mais quand j'ai perdu à 185, après ça, j'ai pas pu remonter.
Okay. Mais tu te sentais bien le soir du combat là, dans l'Octagon, t'as pas senti que ça
Oui, je me sentais très bien. J'étais bien hydraté, ça c'est l'important.
OK. Une petite dernière. Là, je sais que tu veux pas parler de ton avenir, je te gosserai pas avec ça, mais on commence, là, il y a plein de monde qui te voit, qui rêve à te voir affronter McGregor. Je me demande, tu sais, Conor McGregor, je me demandais juste si pour toi, si ça arrive, ce combat-là, ça serait-tu important que ça compte?
Il est pas sur mon radar, parce qu'il compétitionne à une catégorie de poids différente de la mienne. Mais il n'y a rien qui est impossible à MMA.
Mais pour toi, ça serait-tu important que ça compte pour une 3e ceinture, un combat contre lui?
Comme je te dis, c'est pas sur mon radar. Je peux pas aller ça me tente pas d'aller à 155. Ça me tente pas de jouer avec mon corps comme ça. Je pourrais peut-être le faire, mais ma santé, c'est plus important que les titres et la gloire du sport.
Okay. C'est ce que je voulais savoir. Merci beaucoup. Bonnes vacances.
Merci.
Next question is from Jeffrey Harris, 411 Mania.
I have to wash my hands.
Good morning, George, and thank you so much for your time, sir. And I wanted to congratulate you on an amazing fight and an amazing performance, history-making performance. Congratulations on your middleweight title win, too. I was curious, when you left the UFC back in 2013 and you were welterweight champion, were you feeling complacent? And on any level, were you not feeling challenged at welterweight?
No, I was I was challenged like crazy. I felt a lot of challenge, but I felt like I was not happy. I was not happy. It was a lot of things in the sport that was different back then. The performance enhancing drug and I felt like it was always the same thing. And then that repeats itself with new challenger that always says the same thing. And I felt like. As soon as I finished a fight, there was another guy challenging me, and another. I didn't have time to breathe, and all the pressure, the critic, for too long, it hurt me, and yeah, that's how it was. Now I feel much better now. I'm very happy.
Now, a lot of people with your win are talking about greatest of all time and pound for pound in MMA again. And I'm not going to ask you if you think you're the greatest of all time, but do you think on any level Jon Jones and his behavior and his activities have eliminated him from the conversation of best of all time, or do you think he should be still considered in that conversation?
There is no such thing as the greatest of all time or best fighter, listen, there's no such thing. We all compete in different environments. We all have different problems. And even though you're the best, it doesn't mean you're not going to lose. And doesn't mean that nobody can beat you. Example, I fought Michael Bisping Saturday night at Madison Square Garden. In that particular night, at that particular moment, at that particular place, I beat Michael Bisping Saturday night. But it doesn't mean that if I fight him tomorrow that he's not going to beat me. The same thing in other sports like in hockey or baseball or football. The best team sometimes can not always win. The team that wins is the team that play the best the night of the game. Same thing in fighting. People think fighting is different. Oh, this guy is stronger than this guy, so he's always going to win. That's not true. Maybe one day I'm going to make a mistake and I'm going to lose, to a guy who's not as good as me. But maybe 9 times out of 10, I will beat him. So there's no such thing as the greatest of all time. It doesn't exist. It's an illusion. And we can stipulate about it, in terms of achievement. And it's because that's what the way I think now is because of the experience, that I gained over the time. When I was starting fighting in MMA, I wanted to be the strongest man in the world. But there's no such thing as be the strongest man in the world. Everybody can beat everybody at any given day or at any given time. That's what I've learned. There's no such thing as being the strongest man in the world. You can be the best one day, but tomorrow you're not. That's the truth about the sport.
You defeated Bisping by submission, and I think that was your first submission win in about 10 years. Was that very satisfying for you? And did the trash Bisping talk before the fight made finishing and submitting him any more satisfying for you at all? And that's my last question. Thank you, George.
I said before that the way I train, I was more opportunist, and it's true. I think my training, the way I train now was better than before, and it made me more opportunist. And it was a reflection of how my training was. He gave his back. I had an opportunity to finish him, and I jumped on him. And I was more opportunist, and I think it shows during that fight.
I'd like to turn it back to Matt for closing remarks.
Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to speak to George, and and a great appreciation for George for giving up a section of his time today. Thank you, everyone, and we hope you tune in for Norfolk this Saturday. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.